And so more and more people need to start attending these protests. And as Debbie was talking about there, people have the mentality that protests don't work, that voting doesn't work, but that's the mentality they want you to have. They want you to feel so demoralised that you don't see any point in fighting. But you need to fight. We need to fight for our country, for our future children. And this is why I founded Students Against Tyranny, was because, especially after Manchester, you know, when we were outnumbered by 250 Antifa, I thought something, you know, these people are going to be dictating socio-economic policy. In a couple of years, if things don't change soon, we are going to be living under fascism. But you have decided to stand up, and that is absolutely fantastic, so thank you. Now, the first thing is, right, I don't know how many people are actually from Swansea here, but there's something called the Swansea City Centre Repurposing Strategy, right? It's a £1 billion initiative to revamp Swansea. As part of this initiative, they want to implement a 15-minute city, yeah? Now, on paper, the idea of a 15-minute city sounds extremely innocent, but it's not. You look at what they did in Oxford, they combined it with LTN barriers in order to fine you if you left your zone. Local residents were promised that they could catch a bus to work. But after the implementation of the LTNs mainly on Crowley Road, the 3 main bus routes were taken off the maps. Do you know what this meant? It meant people had to quit their jobs and instead become dependent on the state, which is literally the definition of communism. Fascism is the mixture of ethno-nationalism and communism. We're not ethno-nationalists, but they're communists, which makes them more Nazi than us, because we're not Nazis at all. But without further ado, we are currently in a war, not physical, but invisible. It's a war on sexuality, family, masculinity, terror, welfare, free speech, our ability to use cash freely, and a war on motorists. The war started when millions rose up against COVID lockdowns and vaccine passports in 2021. Scrap that, this war has been going on for decades. Bit by bit, they have slowly been taking away our freedom and sovereignty. But now we are facing a new threat to our freedom, which arguably could have much worse implications. 15-minute cities alongside low-traffic neighbourhoods, which will limit our ability to travel. They want us locked down in a 50-minute zone with a bank account that only the government can access. Debbie mentioned earlier, the central bank digital currency is a key role in all of this. Without that, these 15-minute cities will not work. I saw when I was travelling to Scotland with Gillian over there, I saw a HSBC advertisement, and it said, when your abuser controls your finances, they control you. And it reminded me of this incoming central bank digital currency. The government is the abuser in this instance, as they will now have control over how and where you spend your own goddamn money. During the lockdown, people defied the restrictions to attend protests against it. If central bank digital currency was in place, bank cards would not have worked outside of local areas, preventing people from leaving their zones. This would be further compounded by the combination of 50-minute cities and LTNs, making it impossible to leave your zone as the bank would not allow it. Is this the future we want? No! Not only will this limit our ability to travel, but will heavily impact our right to privacy. The Amazon Go project is a fully automated store that uses motion sensors and CCTV to detect what customers pick up and automatically charge them to their phones. In a way, this is similar to CBDC, as every purchase you make is being monitored by our abusive oligarchs. Zero privacy and zero freedom to travel in the name of what? Efficiency? Congestion? Reports from Oxford showed that wasn't true. Carbon emissions? Well, how exactly does that work? Yes, maybe it lowers them by stopping people from driving, but these ULEZ zones makes me think of the smoking ban in pubs. It's like saying, you can smoke, but only if you pay me. But they don't want your money, nor do they need your money. This is about control. These ULEZ zones, which Cardiff, by the way, has now voted to implement, 15-minute neighbourhoods and LTM barriers may not work for the issues they are describing, but it will work as designed to make driving a luxury for the rich and too expensive for the poor. In Oxford, local residents, well, I've already said that, sorry. But as I'm saying about the making people dependent on the state, this is literally problem, reaction, solution. Ike said it back in 2008. They create the problem, which in this instance is heightened carbon emissions, which forces people to react. As you see, you got Extinction Rebellion and all those, I don't know what to describe them as. And Nazis, that's exactly what they are though, isn't it? And so it forces them to, well, it makes them come up with a solution that they secretly wanted all along, which in this case is the ability to control you, your vehicle, your money, literally everything. It's like a prison. In prisons you have separate blocks of which you lock down to isolate and deal with any problems that may arise. It's the same here. They will lock down our zones and make sure we can't escape. They want everything in a 50-minute zone, removing the quote-unquote need to leave. But our lives are bigger than 15 minutes. Thank you. And thank you everyone for coming up. We're going to deal with it now. We'll get you all back safely. They won't do anything, so yeah. Thank you everyone for coming.